Hello people, this is Squash Corner, and I'm going to be talking about the future of streaming fighting games and the vast potential it has moving forward. The reason I say this, and the reason I believe there's a lot of potential, is because like Grand Blue dropped, Grand Blue Fantasy Rising dropped, and there was a free version. The thing though is like, I think a lot of people didn't know that there is a free version. I had people ask me, is it actually free? And I even saw Reddit threads where they're like, wait, there's an actual free version? Huh. Like, if it was advertised loudly, or, like, louder somehow, that would be nice, because I think there's people who generally just don't know. So I've been streaming fighting games for, like, at least 4 years, and I would say overall, like, even the numbers, if you look at Twitch and look at analytics, the numbers and all that stuff of a lot of fighting games, it usually doesn't do that well, of course, compared to a lot of games related to a lot of free-to-play games or games with low cost. So it's, like, the thing about what makes, like, Among Us or like Marbles or the Fall Gaze, what makes those games so popular is low cost and the community could kind of get together. So like, for example, everyone could play together. There's really not much of a threshold to break there. The thing about fighting games is because it's such a niche audience, usually they're like, hey, $60, you know, you get this full experience, you know, quotation marks full experience. You have to have a friend who also has the game to play together, you know, so it's $60, $60. It's a lot to ask for. This is not really a big deal for big AAA fighting games. So, like, I'm talking the Mortal Kombats, the Smash Ultimates, even Street Fighter is doing pretty well. But if you're talking about, like, Arc System Works besides, like, Dragon Ball FighterZ on the top of my head, I'm thinking, like, you know, like Under Night, Blaze Blue, Grand Blue, and stuff like that. It's a lot smaller. So let's just say you're like, I really love these niche fighting games. It's usually anime fighters too. I really love anime fighters. I want to stream them. I want to have a good time, right? It's asking for a lot for somebody who's not big onto the fighting game franchise, you know, the genre, that, you know, to be like, hey, you should pick it up. We could play together and it'll be fun because you're asking them for like $60. So like an example I have too, it's not even fighting games. Like, for example, I had a buddy that's like, hey, Modern Warfare 3 is coming out. I will pick it up if you buy it. And then I'm like, I'm not very big into like shooting games really. So I'm just like, you want me to dish out $60 so we could play together? You get me? Like, his heart is in the right place, but it's asking for a lot, especially asking for viewers, you know, your audience to be like, hey, you should dish out $60. You'll have a good time, you know? What makes Grand Blue, the free version, so special is that anybody could grab it. And I like the idea too that Gran is usually like the free character. Like, Gran is always free. Then there's like 3 other randoms and it rotates. What I like about that is like, okay, well, just pick the character and see if you like them or not, you know? Moving forward, people don't really know that it's free, right? So I think moving down the line in the future, let's say this actually does well, because I don't know the numbers of how many people who are playing the free version is actually planning to get it or have already bought the full version of Grand Blue. I don't know the numbers on that, but let's just think in the long term. Let's just say hypothetically Arc System Works is like, all our fighting games are gonna have a free version, you know, like we're gonna have, I don't know, Under Night, we're gonna have a new Grand Blue, free versions, you know, same thing, like 4 characters. You could always use kind of like the main protagonist, and then it rotates. That's the community aspect of it coming together, is that they don't have to break the bank. They could just be like, oh, cool, I could just try it out. I could play with my favorite streamer and it'll be fun. Thing though, I don't know on if this is costing Arc System Works at all, if, you know, having a free version and not. Like, I can't tell if, you know what I mean, if they're winning giving the free version or not. I don't know the statistic on that. But the thing is, for me, like, I grew decently, like, from streaming Smash Ultimate because that's a AAA big fighting game. If I play anything smaller, there's always the few people that show up, but I don't really, like, expand or grow much from it. But what's funny is these small communities, they have, like, the nicest and sweetest people. Like, if you play, like, an anime or a niche fighting game and people are into it, you find the sweetest people who are just trying to get better and they're teaching you things. It's such a great community, but that's the thing, it's so tiny. So, moving forward, I feel like if this became a new normal for all fighting games, to be like, hey, here's a free version, you know, you only get 4 characters, 5 characters, even 3, I don't know. Here's a free version, try it out, if you like it, you like it. I think, like, in a stream aspect, this would do very well, because people could just go into a stream and be like, fuck it, I'm gonna play this, you know, I never tried this before, but I'm gonna play it, you know, it gives people that opportunity. And it's not just Grand Blue. Project L is going to have a free version. So just like Grand Blue, Project L is going to have a free version. I feel like this is going to have a lot of potential. But with Project L, this is a different story because League of Legends is such a big game. This, I believe, is going to sell so well. When I say sell, it's free. But you get me? So many people are going to be active on this because it's such a huge franchise. So this has so much potential, especially if there's a free version. And like, imagine, you're streaming, and it's like, there's no barrier. Everyone could just play you know? If there was a free version and everything, I think this could potentially push its direction forward for a bigger audience, you know? Like these, it's almost like the Among Us wasn't very big when it first came out. It came out a while ago, but once it became online, once you're able, there was such a small paywall to get to play the game because it's only like $5. It expanded because there's communities that can play together and blah, blah. If fighting games do something very similar to this, I feel like us as a community will grow. Last point I want to make is crossplay and how important that is, and especially that it's becoming the new normal for fighting games to have. Because thanks to crossplay, it doesn't matter if you're an Xbox person, you know, a PS4 person, a PSC person. If it's crossplay, most likely it's going to be on the majority of the platforms. And if there's a free version as well, then there's no reason not for people, for viewers to want to play you. Especially, that's like a great way to interact with somebody if you're able to give them the attention with a few rounds of a game that both of you guys are learning. Now that things are picking up and the community itself, the fighting game community itself is becoming bigger and more popular, I feel like streaming fighting games when, for example, I would say when Project L comes out, has a lot of potential. So hopefully you think of streaming, you think of watching people stream, and that's really all I have to say. You don't even have to like this video. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I'm playing Grand Blue, and there's a free version. So stop by and say hi. I play at 12 p.m. Pacific time. That's all I have to say. Thank you, and goodbye. Mwah.